Hello, Stropes here again. So this week, focusing on a top placing Chancellor Palpatine deck from the Bologna PQ that placed last week. This list specifically went, I think, undefeated in the Swiss portion. I don't know how many games they dropped in between that or not, but lost no games in the Swiss portion of that PQ. That PQ had 127 players, so not a small number by any means. This Palpatine deck was really exciting to me to be able to see it place, just because Palpatine is such a kind of I don't even know what the word would be, kind of like a funky leader, a little bit different than other leaders in the sense that he doesn't deploy. So seeing a deck that worked out with him, I was kind of on in the group of people who thought that he might be a good control leader. But this deck is actually pretty aggro. It's kind of based on those space decks that you see. You've got those lurking ties, you've got those P-38 starfighters, and you've also got a suite of heroic rebel space units like Red 3 and Millennium Falcon and A-Wing to put a bunch of pressure on your opponent. So it's actually somewhat similar to those space aggro decks that we see. You're kind of trying to put the opponent in the position of having to do something about your heroic units, because if you lead with an A-Wing, play your Red 3, or and then you get a Falcon out, they've really got to kind of stop that. Otherwise, you will outdamage them and kind of like win the race there, whether you flip or not. But there's also a fair number of ways in this deck to force the flip on your end. So you often see, where is it at? Heroic Sacrifice, right there. Heroic Sacrifice you see oftentimes in Sabine decks, other aggro decks, to kind of like push that last damage in, because it defeats the unit. It gives it a power bonus, and then you attack with the unit, and when it deals combat damage, you defeat it after that. So you can just like potentially be flipping Palpatine himself, like just by doing that, because you can attack with an A-Wing if you really want to start flipping and healing, because you think you need to do that. There's also these Phase 3 clone troopers, which are something you don't see very many places. They have 3 power. They're 3/2 with ambush for 3. So not really a very good unit. However, they run into stuff like Sabine units, and or even like Battlefield Marines, things like that. And then they'll die though in that trade, but in that trade you kind of like keep their board off, and then you can use Palpatine's ability to flip himself at that point, so you can draw the card and then you can heal. And a fair amount of times in this deck, like when I'm playing, like you can like flip one turn, and you're basically like flipping back and forth like every single turn. When you get to the other side, he's got that Darth Sidious side on the other side, and then you just need to play a Villainy card. It does not need to be a unit. Although I think Karabast currently says it needs to be a unit. It does not need to be a unit. You can use Force Choke, and you can use No Good to Me Dead, anything, or a unit if you want. But also Triple Dark Raid works really great with this. Another thing you can do with the Triple Dark Raid is, even if you don't hit like a big Villainy unit, like you don't hit your Ruthless Raider, when you're on the Darth Sidious side, this deck is built very well. I think it was built by a player named Valerio. The names unfortunately are not posted on the SWU competitive site, so there's no names beside it. I tried to check through the live stream, and the only thing I could find is Valerio. So if I get his full name or something like that, I will definitely update and post his full name to the deck list, but I don't know it right now. But you can play the Triple Dark Raid, and because it says like 5 for the unit that you're playing, Millennium Falcon plus the two tax that you would have to pay for playing a heroic unit while you're on the Darth Sidious side, you can even bring out stuff like Millennium Falcon and then be able to like run it. So this deck works like really very well into Jango. If you're looking for a pretty aggressive build to go against Jango, and you don't want to be playing I like hard control or something, this has really worked out very, very well for me most of the time. At least like in my limited experience this week when I've been playing it, has done well into those. Just because you're able with if you can manage the like flip once a turn where you heal, then you get the damage, you get the token out, then you flip, then you heal, then you draw, then you like keep going back and forth the whole time. You can really do quite a bit. Plus you still have the Tarkentown thing where you can ping stuff with the Starfighter or put a little bit of damage on stuff and then like kind of keep a lot of units off. So it really has worked out quite well for me in that regard. As far as like sideboarding goes, I have not figured that out completely. There's not a guide that I can find in so far. I think like the waylays are clearly in there to be able to deal with stuff that your force chokes might not be. Force chokes are great against Sabine and Qi'ra, less good against other leaders. So I mean, I think like if you're not playing into force choke stuff, especially if you're going against control, probably not force choking anything. I think you probably want the waylays there, although they might not do all that much like late in the game, but they could like keep it off, keep your units. You know, you really only need a turn because like I said, this is kind of like an aggro deck, so sometimes you just need to last that turn and keep that unit out, and sometimes the waylays can help with that. It does have Bazines, again, probably against control. You would be slotting those in to kind of pull their vigilances from their hand, things like that. Wolf against blue decks to stop the healing, and Confiscate, I'm assuming, is just there against box. There is this card here, the Chaos of War, which is that 3-cost double red, so you'd be paying 5 for it, and it deals damage to players equal to the amount of cards in their hand, but I think you often have quite a bit in your hand, so I'm not sure like exactly if someone who knows, Valerio knows, let me know. I'm not sure where you would slot this in. I'm kind of thinking against control because they're like card hungry and they'll be like holding lots of stuff, and you might just need a non-combat damage way to push that, and they probably haven't put very much damage on your base until really, really late in the game, and maybe you're hoping to win with Chaos of War and play it like on the 5 resource turn or so and deal like, I don't know, like 6 damage to them or something and just pay 5 for it. That's kind of what I'm leaning towards as far as that goes. But that's just a quick overview of the deck as I know it. We'll get right into the matches here in a second. All right. Going up against Cad Tarkentown, I have had a few connection difficulties. Fingers crossed that doesn't continue here. I think we'll keep this. We've got a nice spread here. We can ambush this clone trooper. We can do the Ketsu. And we still got like these things. I think we're going to resource that and this, keeping one Villainy card. We'll start out with Ketsu on the ground just to put out some power. Okay, so they're probably just going to Tarkentown the Ketsu, because why else? If they don't do that, we're swinging with the Ketsu on their base and knocking the shield off of that smuggler. Although they did not do that. So let's see here. Cartel Spacer is pretty good to like keep their stuff tapped down. And it's just like whether we're racing them or not. Ooh, I think let's resource that TIE Phantom. Okay, so we are here attacking the base and then defeating that. So we can also run our clone trooper straight into that and then be able to flip. So that is what we'll do here, which will heal that damage from that. So basically haven't taken any damage this game. And then next turn we can choke or just Cartel Spacer, but hopefully, I guess I should have maybe kept the Phantom, but yeah, should have maybe kept the Phantom. Okay, resource that Heroic Sacrifice, I guess. Okay. So we'll just do the Spacer even though it's a little meh at this point, because then we can at least like flip. We can also force choke that for LOM, which I think we probably will. just to keep that off. We don't want that to keep hitting our base, especially if they've got a Zuckuss in the chamber. We're going to flip because we did play a Villainy unit, giving us our trooper. And now we can drop these heroism things that we drew into. I don't think Geonosis is going to be that great. They're going to be playing their higher drop units. They claimed, which is interesting. So with the claim here, what do we do to put out the most on the board? We can red 3, we can falcon. I guess I make sure to save that heroic sacrifice to kill my own clone trooper and flip again, but I didn't. Okay, we'll do that. Let's do this. We'll attack, and then we'll attack again, and then we'll pass. I don't need 2 falcons, I don't think, but being able to hit up and then hit up again, it can also be nice. We'll just have to see. I mean, they can't just leave this stuff here. Because that's like 9 on board for them. Let's see. Which was them at like 19. I don't know why. I mean, that doesn't make much. I'm not exactly sure what they're doing. They didn't need. The fact that they ran that into there allows us to just flip for free. Whereas if they like hit our base, we would have had to like run something into it. But I'm not sure as it matters that much anyway, because we can just do like this. That puts them at 23. They're gonna GG, or maybe leave. GG there. They didn't have to. I don't know if the same thing would have happened though, because if they didn't run into that, we flip. That still puts them at 23, and we're only at 2, and we go back to 0 with our flip. So I think like no matter what they did, it wasn't a big. Wouldn't have changed the outcome of the match. So maybe they just ran Cad Bane into that token. Just for fun, I guess. But we'll go into the next match. Alright, looks like we are up against Qi'ra ECL here. A popular deck in the set 2 meta, but a little less favored at the moment. Here's pretty good, because we can go A-wing straight into the trooper. Qi'ra does have the 25 health base, so we can hopefully aggro them out pretty well. I think this choke is quite good into Qi'ra also, because of the when she comes out and does the damage, you can just choke her right away potentially. And No Good to Me Dead isn't like useful for a bit, and hopefully we don't have to use that against their high-end threats. But we can lead with this A-wing and then clone troop or something. So they're just gonna claim. Which makes it a little bit more rough on us, at least in the sense of like getting us to the point where we can just consistently flip without anything from them. I think what we'll do though is we're going to put the 6 damage on base. Or perilous position. Alright. Let's see. We'll play the Falcon, then we can start hitting them. Then like whether we're paying for the Falcon, we will, because that will still allow us to play a phase 3 clone trooper on the ground as well, which is pretty good. This patrol fighter is nice to bounce stuff of theirs with shield. Honestly though, I mean like we could just sacrifice this A-wing to the patrol fighter, which gets us our flip. So that might be like what we do here. I mean, we don't really need to be running stuff into them on the ground. Maybe I should have kept that Ruthless Raider and just gotten rid of that. Let's see. We'll do the Patrol Fighter, defeating that. We can bounce their Magna Guard just so they wasted all of that. We can flip now. And then, are we paying the 1? Of course we're paying the 1 for now. So we can keep hitting. They're going to have to start doing something here. Because otherwise we're just going to snowball out of their range. I would have liked to have seen like some more like cartel spaces in a red 3 or something, but okay, so they'll do that. We'll just choke Qi'ra there, which means we can flip Sidious back over to the Chancellor, and then play our A-wing. So we'll just like keep hitting. I assume they're gonna have to claim, because they can't shield this Magna Guard at this point. Now, whether it's worth it to get rid of that as opposed to just flip and play the A-wing, I'm not sure. But I think we're just gonna flip here. That puts them at 14. Plus we have the trooper. Plus we have this, and I think we're in a really good spot here. We'll pay the 1, and then we should be able to just we can flood with this other stuff, unless they can like overwhelming barrage us or something, which is a potential thing that we should look out for. That would be the reason to force choke that, right? Because that's like what's happening right now. So that was the reason why you would potentially have gone that route. So it did not work out for us how we would have liked, but that is okay. We can A-wing, and then we can start flipping. I'm assuming they're going to hit us, but we can heal and then flip back over. Now it's whether we want to do that now, but I don't think so. I think we want to play all of this out here. We can also like Persuader tank, which is pretty good. But now we can flip, which heals us back up. And then we got the Ketsu. I'm barely out of range to be able to play that. Now, we can force choke them. That draws them up, though, and they'd be at 7. But that's not enough to have a Snoke out. How much do we put out? We got like 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, which is not lethal yet. Ooh, as to whether we just want the board empty, because we don't want like another barrage. So, honestly, I'm going to go with this. Just to keep the board empty, because we don't have the barrages. If we can put them at 1, we'll be in an alright situation at least. Here, let's see. The Ketsu can be nice because of the Saboteur at this point. But we need to keep this spacer to be able to flip Sidious over and deal the 2. We potentially have lethal on them. Not after this vigilance, though. But we did before. Because of the Palp flip that does 2. I'm going to have to claim initiative there. So they might just be stalling for a Snoke. A Persuader tank won't kill it. We can play like this, then Ketsu. I mean, we need to play this to be able to even flip. So let's flip. See what we... Okay. And then, I mean, like, we can still Persuader tank. It's whether... What should we... Maybe we get rid of this wolf pack for that. Just to put out the most on board that we can do. That's weird. It's not like letting me not choose that. It's a May ability, but it's making me choose to damage itself or something. So I'm going to report that bug. We'll see if we can go back and do it. Because, I mean, it's basically like making us damage our own stuff for no reason, which is no good. But we'll see. Hopefully it doesn't cause us to lose. From this point, this is 7 resources worth. So we're going to pass here. And hopefully, okay, they super laser blast. Understandable. But we'll Ketsu. Then we will flip. Drawing into that. We'll play the Lurking Tie. And then we'll pass. Now this Heroic Sacrifice will be nice too. We can use that on Ketsu. We want to play this, though, one of those 2 to be able to flip. The Starfighter, I'm not sure. I think we're just going to pass here, though. See if they have, like, a Snoke or something. I mean, I guess we can still Force Choke Snoke and then Tarkin Town Snoke, but it will kill our stuff, which will be like the second or third reset. They did not do that, so this is kind of fantastic for us because we can attack for 5 right here, or 4 like there too. So I'm just going to actually 1, 2, 6, which would put them at 1 away. You have to pay 3 for this, but I really think we want to do that because now we can flip, and if we flip Sidious just by playing a starfighter or something, even if they can kill everything, we can do the other 2 and kill them unless they vigilance us again, like right here, which they may have. They've got a big hand, so we'll see what they want to do. Might pause. Okay. Oh, looks like they have disconnected. So I'll give them a second. I think like if they don't have vigilance here, they just lose. I mean, like we could either attack them if they can't kill the Ketsu immediately, even if they kill the Ketsu or something. Once we flip Sidious, all we got to do is play the Starfighter or play the Spacer, which we have plenty of resources to do. We flip Sidious, we deal 2 damage. They're at 26. We're still at 1. So I think unless they could like vigilance or something, that's really like the only out. I think that Qi'ra Green probably would have in this situation. They don't have enough for Snoke. They can't use that to get the board presence. But even if they did something like that, all we have to do is play the Starfighter, and even if it dies, we still played it, so we can still flip and still kill them. So unless they have a vigilance or some heal thing on 6, they would be out of that game. But it doesn't look like they're coming back, so I will claim this victory and we'll move on to the next game. All right, against Don Pepe with a Jango Red. We will not mulligan here, although we're going to be fighting space. We have the initiative though, so that gives us a bit of an edge there. I'll get rid of this P38 and that, although maybe we should have gone with the Force Choke, don't really need that. I did a pre-sideboard in the 2 Waylays for the other 2 Force Chokes, using the 1 Force Choke that's left in the deck, just because I think Waylay is probably better in this matchup, although I don't have the sideboard completely sorted at the moment, at least the original sideboard that was used in the OPE tournament. Looks like they're still choosing a card. Let me see. So we easy go Green Squadron into Red 3, hit them for 4. And then these Starfighters, once we flip. Although we might need a heroic sacrifice or something to flip. I was about to refresh there just in case. Sometimes if it's like a super long time, it'll time you out. And then the opponent will be able to claim. So, okay. So they'll ping us. They're just going to Tarkin Town us, which might be... I get, like, if they do that, they're kind of playing into like our strategy, because what we'll do is we'll just flip and then we can Force Choke that ISB agent next turn. So I'm a pass here, assuming that they're just going to Tarkin Town us. I think they need to Tarkin Town us because of the their space lane. But like, I'm just gonna Force Choke Greedo and flip back and be like starting to spew out my like clone troopers. So, and they're gonna be in a weird spot because if I Force Choke Greedo, they can't kill the clone trooper with the ISB agent unless they like waste a surprise strike on it. Okay. So this sacrifice might come in handy later. I always regret resourcing it whenever I do. Although we could like P38 and still kill Greedo, and honestly, that's kind of like what I'm leaning toward here. which will still let us flip, and so, I mean, kind of functionally the same as the force choke would have been. And they bonus, they don't draw a card from that. So it'll be interesting to see what they do. I mean, like, if they just try and like P38 us back, like what they're gonna do there. The deal is, I mean, if we can flip back, well, when we flip back, I guess because it puts them off of their, because they're gonna have to be like running into our stuff, and if they do that, then we falcon them, and then we kill that, and then they're like in a weird spot. So I think we'll flip back now. And now, I mean, like, we can heroic sacrifice this trooper into their base or whatever we need to do there. And then, like, flip back next turn. Because we can both falcon and heroic sacrifice. I have the initiative, though. So, I mean, like, I'm going to just run into the Tarkin town with this. Oop. Okay, I'm better... Alright. Forgot my power source there for a second. But we should be good now. Yeah, if I run the P38 into there, that puts them at 5, then I can clone trooper straight into there. It's like 7 on them next turn, plus that. Okay, ISB into there, which makes sense. We'll claim. Okay, this phase 3 is also nice, because we can kill their ISB, but like we need our unit to die to be flipping, so what am I talking about? Because the more that we can flip, I think also, I mean, like, we're drawing, we are healing, and dealing damage to their base and making tokens, which also puts out like more board pressure on them too, right? So I think leaning toward being able to flip as opposed to the stuff that maybe get you a bit more bored but you can't flip. It depends on the situation, but I kind of lean toward the flip. Maybe just because that's like his leader ability, and I'd rather use the leader ability since that's why we're using him, because he can't deploy. So the more, if we can like get him to flip back and forth each time, I try and do that when I can. So they're still picky. Okay, so what are we resourcing? We need the sacrifice to do that. The red 3 is nice, but probably won't be doing that. So, oh, that's not what I wanted to do. I thought it asked me if I wanted to resource. We just want to attack straight into the base. I had already resourced. It just like took me a minute. I guess my brain's going everywhere, but now they know we have the red 3. I thought it was asking me if I wanted to resource, but just because it's taken them a minute to do stuff, I kind of forget where we're at in the back and forth. What else can we do? I mean, like, we don't, yeah, it's not like we don't have like lurking ties. We don't have the starfighters to be playing for like flip. So we kind of got to heroic sacrifice into like their base and stuff, and then do our thing. Spacer's nice. It can mess with their plans a bit, tap down stuff like this 7th fleet in a situation where they would be like getting rid of our stuff. I think they're just trying to figure out who is the beat down here, though, because right now, if they keep going for our base, they're gonna get, we're gonna outrace them, I think, so. I guess there I could have, and probably should have flipped before. Actually, no, I couldn't. I was going to say flip, but no, you can't do that. Okay, so here, I think we go into, there. Then we can bounce our Falcon, play it again, and kill that defender, which makes their space pretty... I guess they can... No, can they Tarkin Town us? Do they already Tarkin Town? It looks like they already have. Okay, so here is where we flip. And then... Okay, so we pass. And do we want to pay for the Falcon? I don't think so. We'll bounce it back. That way we can just ambush it out, basically. So here... Spacer versus the choke. It's unfortunate that, because I'm thinking Jango's going to come out this turn, that we can't, you know, it says non-leader, because that would be nice to be able to force choke him and then just Tarkin Town him. Not have to worry about that. But, like, and I don't know if it's worth it, like, force choking him and then, like, ambushing him with, like, a clone trooper next turn. I mean, like, maybe that's what we want to do. I guess. I mean, we're going to flip back and then we'll have the 2, I guess, from the trooper token. So we can force choke him and then run a trooper token into him also, I guess. We could also Persuader tank. That might be the nicest thing to do. What if we just... the problem is, like, don't want to be put into, like, a weird situation where we're, like, just passing. So maybe we Cartel Spacer. And then we might have to start passing and seeing, like, if they're going to deploy him. But we'll just see what they do. Because are they gonna... Okay, they're like trading for our units and stuff. Okay. Let's pass. If they want to claim here and not spend any of their 5 resources and not deploy Jango, I mean, sure. Although it puts us in a weird spot with Sidious, because we'd really like to flip. But I'm not sure. At the same time, I mean, like, they're not putting out, like, any board presence. I don't really know. Yeah, and I'm not sure, like, why it's taken them that long to decide, like, what they're gonna do. Right, because I guess on their end, it might be beneficial. I mean, but they've only got, like, 1 damage out. They're getting us into, like, a weird game of chicken. Like, I mean, like, leaving 1 thing out. Okay, here we go. So now we force choke him. And then we flip. We make our trooper... And then we probably run that trooper into Jango. Okay. Put some 11. In the 7th fleets, I mean, I kind of like, I don't know, they kind of almost trade for the Falcon because, like, if you run them into each other, then you've got the, okay, reclaim here. Then, right, I mean, like, if you use the Falcon, attack it into there, they attack it back like they've been doing, like, with the attrition, then you basically just trade. But that puts them, like, in a strange spot. Okay. Here, what do we need to keep? I think we're gonna get rid of that red 3. Around 6. I mean, like, we can just Persuader tank. Yeah, so maybe that's what we do instead of the clone trooper, because same diff, I guess, right? Because then we can still flip and still draw, because we get the ping off of the Persuader tank. We'll be back to the Sidious side, and then we can triple Dark Raid, and hopefully, because I don't think we've seen any of our one Ruthless Raider, we can do that. Okay, so Persuader tank. Persuader tank. Okay. Yeah. here we go. And then kill that there, Jango. So we gotta look out for the fire spray now. 5, 6, 8, 9. They could put 9 on us, which puts us at 13. Although we can heal and go back to 11, and then we're exactly even. What's the fire spray? Is that okay? I guess like a Ruthless Raider will kill the fire spray, which is nice because it will hit it for the 2, and then you can run the 4 into it. So that could work out well for us next turn. We're going to flip. Another triple dark raid. Wait, we can double triple dark raid them? What is that if you're double tripling stuff? I guess it depends on the original number. Is that like 6 dark raids or so? Multiplicative. Okay, I mean like the 6 on board. I mean like that's really 8 on board with the hit. I mean, if the triple dark raid readies, I guess we can't get the heroic sacrifice while we're on the Darth Sidious side because it doesn't just cost 1 anymore. So we'll claim here, but especially depending on what we get with this could be like a ton of damage on them. They're probably going to have to run the 7th fleets like into stuff we pull. And if we pull stuff that's not like Lurking Ties or something, I mean, they won't be able to kill it. Anyway, like, I'm hoping we get double Ruthless Raider. You don't have to worry about it. Although, I mean, like, what is it? This only costs 3? So we could put, like, 8, 19... I guess we would exactly get them with 1 triple dark rated Ruthless Raider and 1... Wow, they don't have a fire spray, though, either, so... rough on them. And when we flip this Sidious back, it's going to do 2, so I think we're actually in an alright position. The no good to me dead coming in handy for them there, because they'll really need that to last. Let me see this stuff. I mean, like the 1 on there is really nice because you can often just like squeeze it in. Like we can double, triple dark raid, flip, and then play the Wolfpack escort. So that can be handy. And we can also Millennium Falcon them, which can sometimes come out of nowhere. So let's triple dark raid, and we got a Ruthless Raider. Okay, I guess we can't because like if we're playing that, then let's see, we can kill that, ping it. Let's just do that. Get rid of it. We can't, just because I mathed a little bit wrong on the triple dark raid. Because it costs 5, and if you're playing Ruthless Raider, it cheats something out for 5, and then you can pay 1 extra to get the Ruthless Raider out. So, if we try and triple dark raid into another Raider, well, it will take all of our resources to do so. Now, we can heroic sacrifice this. I guess that would have been the reason not to kill the Starfighter, but I mean, like, I don't really, I mean, like, what are they gonna do? Because then they can ping it with Jango and tap it, but, yeah, okay. It's like okay. So, now, let's do another one. We can get, like, Falcon. Do we don't, oh no, it's like the spacer is real nice if you have something that's yellow out already, because you can tap something, like we could have just tapped the fire spray, but we can't tap the fire spray, so we're gonna have to do the Falcon. We'll be at 15 at least here. If they try and kill this Ruthless Raider, which actually kind of maybe makes a little bit of sense for them, they're going to be even higher. Although, then we're going to start pinging their stuff, and then they'll lose the fire spray. So, and that's probably why it's taken them a minute to decide, because if they run the fire spray into there, we get the shield off the 7th fleet, we use Target Town to get the fire spray, and then we probably kill their thing there. So we do this. and then we attack there, and then we Tarkin Town the fire spray, and then they're in a weird spot. Okay, so Tarkin Town that, and then we flip, which will put them to 17, and then we can, we might just leave this Falcon out. Then even if they like kill it with a P3, one of those starfighters, we can do that. We've also got let's see, well no, because it bounces back to hand, so no. I was wrong about that. Yeah, head in the game, Stripes, head in the game. Although, like 8, we just ate Heroic Sacrifice the Persuader tank, which puts them at 25, and then they just lose unless they can ping this Persuader tank and kill it. What else can we draw? Like, we can do that, like spam. We 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So get rid of this phase 3. So they need to tap the Persuader tank. If they don't, they're just going to die from the Heroic Sacrifice. They played their own heavy Persuader tank to ping our... Yeah, and then like tap it, I assume? Okay, makes sense. So now what we do is we... Falcon them. What happened to like our token though? Did they that's maybe I'll have to like rewatch it. I was gonna say, like, I don't understand what's going on there. We should have had that token from the flip. We can do this, and then we put that like at 5, flip back. But I think our token died. I'm trying to like figure out like where, because they pinged that. They didn't ping our token. So I think I can flip anyway. Let's see. 5 puts them at, okay, super dead, I think, right? Because let's just do this. Sacrifice onto there. Then we can flip back, and then we just like play the Ruthless Raider. They go to 24 or something, but they're gonna have to tap down the tank or something too. So we'll flip, then we pass. Our Interceptor's not even active after all that. These bounce, I don't know if we need all that bounce. Let's see, we should be fine. There's no way that they can't like clear our board. They don't have like a Van Brace, and Jango's not out, and Van Brace doesn't hit in the air anyway. So like no matter what, they're super dead, because they need to ping the tank like they've been doing. Because even, like they're just super dead. They've been stalling a bit anyway by knocking that tank down. So I think they just lose here, yeah, because there's no way. There's like no way. I was trying to think of like ways that they could win, but there really aren't any, because like they would need to have gotten that, and then like, yeah, so we just get it there. So that'll be that game there. All right, that will be it for today. So I had to splice some of those videos together. As you probably saw, my shirt changed a bit. My hair might have changed a bit. I lost a bit of my footage and was having a little bit of trouble during the week, but we got it all sorted out. So got to be able to upload. I really think this deck is really fun. Just playing in a different way. You know, you get so used to playing those leaders where you just deploy them. A lot of the deck is built around working in that way, you know, the big deploy turn, you know, planning for the barrage if you're in Qi'ra, or back when there was Boba, right? There was like a, you know, huge part of the game, but I think it's really fun, and it's been really fun for me to play this during the week, just because this leader does not do that at all. And you know, you're really, the deck building is like quite different because it's built around, you know, trying to like maximize being able to like flip back and forth, you know, and get like that value, heal the base, draw the card, get the token, do damage to your opponent, and just kind of like get that little engine going. But that engine like doesn't actually appear like as a unit on the board, and it's really just kind of fun. I would suggest this if you haven't tried it out, or a version of Palpatine. It's just really fun to play the game in a bit of a different way. And this deck really has performed pretty well for me so far during the week. I think it's a fun deck. Hopefully we see it going forward. I'll keep playing it, keep testing it, because it's just really fun at the end of the day, right? And that's what counts there. So if you like the video, be sure to subscribe. Like the video, helps me out a lot. Thank you. Goodbye.